Hello, I just got back to my dorm on Thursday, so I've been settling in. I got back from my classes, which I only have two classes today and two classes tomorrow. So each day of the week, I apparently have two classes. I have to talk to my advisor at 4 about possibly changing my schedule to add another class if I have to. If I don't need to, I'm not adding another class because I don't see the point in having an extra class that I really do not need to graduate next semester, which will be spring of 2015. But basically, all has been well. I do want to tell you that on Friday, I helped with my African American student organization, like the group that I am in for black women. And I talked to a few of the girls, and as I've been talking about all summer long with colorism and racism and anti-blackness, we had a brief discussion about that. And some of the girls follow me on Twitter, so they basically know, what I talk about and get the gist of what I, have been talking about for the past couple of months online. One of the girls mentioned that when it comes to colorism, that there is no way that it should even matter because at the end of the day, we are all black. The same rhetoric that people use all of the time when discussing colorism. And I feel like that level of immaturity is dangerous because so many really believe that colorism is just a black thing. So because it's something that's a problem with black people, that it really should not be acknowledged just because we're black. And that's very dangerous because I don't agree with it at all. For one thing, she made it like, well, we're all black to white people, which is a lie because first of all, if it were true, then we wouldn't have had house slaves versus the field slaves and the lighter skinned slaves being freed and having their own communities and basically being favored. So that's some sort of lie. It's no different than saying that we are all a part of the human race because duh, we know that we are a part of the human race. But if that were really taken into consideration, do you really think there would be so much hatred in the world? Do you really think that there would be so much racism in the world and colorism in POC communities? Of course not. So why do you always have to make it a point to tell me what I already know, that I'm black and you're black? I know that I'm black. So why do you have to tell me this? I'm talking about colorism now. And you can sit your privileged ass down because I'm sick and tired of trying to educate people about an issue that has been going on for decades, and people still want to act like it's not a big deal because you sound no different than a racist white person who will sit there and say racism is over because we no longer have segregation and Jim Crow. People will say colorism is over because paperback tests are long gone. But as we know, we don't even need paperback tests to let people know that light skin is in and light skin is right. Really, we do not need to have paperback tests, just like we don't need to have for colored signs to tell us our place in this society. Because just because some things are outlawed does not mean that there's still not an unspoken rule about who is at the top of society and who is at the bottom. But it's really hard trying to educate so many black people about colorism because it's like they know it exists, but they don't want to take the time to have an intelligent conversation about it because all they see is that they are niggers, and therefore whatever type of privileges that they may get for the color of their skin is only conditional, therefore it's not important because they are not white. They believe that as long as you are not white, then you can get away with any type of privilege that you receive because it's like some sort of perk to them, and it's not a perk. Your being light skinned does not mean that you are better than another black person. And that's why I don't really want to talk about the whole Northwest being called ugly by some random woman issue, because when Blue Ivy was being called ugly because of Northwest having mixed features, no one was really coming to her defense. People were trying to attack me for defending Northwest, not defending Blue Ivy, and talking about anti-blackness and colorism and beauty standards in the black community, but no one was saying shit about it. And then Northwest, this little light-skinned mixed child who's, has features that aren't as Afrocentric as Blue Ivy's, because they are basically the same skin tone, but Blue Ivy at the same time, does have a wide nose and does have full lips like Jay-Z. So she gets colorism on a different level in the context of the mixed child who has features that may or may not be considered, marginally black. Not even that, like from the looks of it, it looks like she could turn out to be like a mixed race, light-skinned black girl, but then at times she does look like she could turn out to be, racially ambiguous, because she looks like a couple of friends that I know who have that look. But people are like, oh yeah, Northwest is getting some racist comments, and I'm like, okay. And a reason I'm not trying to say like I don't care, it's just like you guys now care about racism when your light-skinned fave is being attacked. But when Blue Ivy, who is another light-skinned child, is getting racist comments because of her nappy hair and her wide features, then suddenly, it's just an opinion, and we really need to just let it go, and we are not going to let it go. I'm definitely not going to let it go. I won't let it go. Like, I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, I'm not surprised that a light-skinned person is facing racism. It's like you want me to be surprised. I'm not. I know good and well that being light-skinned does not make you immune from racism, and so many people know that. I mean, so many people do not know that, and they get so shocked when they get called the N-word, and I'm like, why are you tripping? I mean, that's something to expect as a black person. I talk about light-skinned privilege, but if you get called the N-word, that's because you're black. Not because you're light-skinned, you're black. I'm sorry. But back to what I was saying about colorism and people denying it. It really should be discussed, because I'm not gonna like sit there and tell people what it is over and over again, and you say, no, you see, I don't really see. Bitch, you see it all the fucking time. You just don't want to acknowledge it because you're fucking complacent and worshiping light skin. Like, you fucking see it. You just don't think it's a fucking issue. You don't fucking think it's a big deal, and it is a fucking big deal. I'm so tired of trying to get people to understand, and then you want to sit there and say, well, you're not that dark skinned. I don't give a fuck. I'm not fucking so you're saying because I'm not dark skinned that I really shouldn't even be caring about an issue, because what you are telling me is that only dark skinned people should really care, and that light skinned people can just relish in their privilege. And seriously, no, we did not ask to be light skinned, or we did not ask to be white, but you damn sure can help the fact that the privilege that you receive harms those who are disadvantaged. Colorism isn't just some sort of, oh, you can't go to a party tonight and you can't do this. No, it's more than that. It's systematic. Light-skinned people can't face colorism. They can't. There's white people can't face racism. It's systematic. It's institutional. And if you want to debate with me on that, I've debated on this topic way too many times to even really try to, talk about this. But as of right now, this school year hopefully will go well. But if I have to check a few people on campus because they want to tell me that light skin privilege is not real because it's something shallow, bitch, you fucking honestly think that being called pretty because you're light skinned is not a big deal? You try being dark skinned and see, what it's like being told that you're ugly. Don't fucking tell me that it's not a big deal. It's like a rich person saying money isn't everything. I don't give a fuck. Maybe it's not everything to you, but still, at the same fucking time, it's something to people who don't have class privilege, you don't have light skin privilege, so you need to check your privilege. And it made me so mad that when I brought up Paula Patton, a light skinned mixed race black woman, this person was like, well, Paula Patton ain't even that black. She's not black at all. She's white. How you gonna sit there and say there's no such thing as light skin privilege, but then be adamant about how biracial light-skinned black people who identify as black aren't really black because they get benefits for being half white or half of another race? So you want to acknowledge that mixed privilege that they have, but then you want to sit there and act Where do they do that at? Where? I don't know, and I don't want to find out right now, but it's making me angry. Like, I ain't gonna sit there and like police someone's identity and tell me that someone who's obviously so not a white person is white just because they are light skinned and they happen to be half white. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So, wish me luck. Pray for me. Like, send your support. Do whatever you want. I'm about to sign out right now because in an hour I have to go see my advisor about the schedule, and I kind of don't want to leave again. I kind of wish I could have talked to her earlier, but she was busy talking to people, so I had to schedule it for, today at 4. Great. I wanted to like rest for the rest of the day. Oh well. Talk to you later. Bye.